22nd, 2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. Well, in any election campaign, you always come down to the last day, and today is the last day in England. Tomorrow, the referendum vote begins at 7 a.m. British Summer Time. This will be the vote to leave the European Union. David Cameron, the Prime Minister, warned today that should British voters vote to leave the Union, there are real risks to the economy. A closely watched gauge of voter sentiment compiled from recent polling by the National Center of Social Research, which is a nonpartisan agency, came out early today showing the outcome of tomorrow's referendum remains too close to call. 51% of those surveyed favored keeping the UK in the EU, while 49% supported an exit. Cameron's campaign to preserve the EU membership received the backing earlier today of more than 1,200 business leaders, who said in a statement made public by the British Stronger in Europe campaign that businesses and their employees benefit massively from being able to trade inside the world's largest single market. Well, in about 36 hours, we'll know the results. Strong storms, possibly including tornadoes, are in the forecast for parts of the Midwest today. If you're traveling anywhere through Chicago later in the day, prepare to be late. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma said that areas around Chicago could see explosive storm development this afternoon. Forecasters say tornadoes will be possible for about 2 hours in a triangle roughly from Davenport, Iowa to Chicago to Milwaukee. Some of the strength of the storms in the Chicago area could approach hurricane winds. Japan has warned North Korean missiles pose a serious threat after North Korea carried out new tests in defiance of international sanctions. North Korea launched 2 missiles within hours of each other earlier today, with one flying about 250 miles and reaching an altitude of about 600 miles. Both launches are believed to have been intermediate-range missiles, whose range is about 1,800 miles, more than enough to hit South Korea, Japan, and U.S. territory of Guam in the Western Pacific. The Japanese Defense Minister, General Nagatani, said that he believes the missiles are a serious threat to our country. The highest court in France, the Court of Cassation, today cleared of any involvement in the sinking of a French trawler in 2004, a British nuclear submarine. The top judicial court in France confirmed a decision to close the case of a French trawler that sank more than a decade ago off the British coast, killing 5 people. The court said there was no evidence to support the claim that a submarine was involved, nor that it was a fishing accident. The entire crew of the trawler, the Bougalid Braise, drowned when it capsized and sank 14 miles off the Lizard Peninsula in southern England on January 15th of 2004. According to local reports in Plymouth, England, not far from Lizard Point, the British submarine HMS Turbulent, a nuclear sub, had been involved in the collision. The Turbulent was decommissioned in 2012. At the Standard & Poor's Global Ratings Insurance Conference in New York last week, leaders of reinsurance companies had some comments about the current state of the market. According to Arch Capital Group's chairman and CEO Constantine Ordonu, it's a tough market. On a scale of 1 to 10, we're maybe at a 2 or a 3. We're facing headwinds. Odyssey Re President Brian Young agreed with Ordenu's statement. He said that the industry is currently, quote, in a very dark period in terms of pricing. Ordenu said our renewals for the Florida season have been minus 3%. We're reaching the bottom, so it's not a question of how much capacity is available. It's a question of, is that capacity willing to take the risk? He went on to say you have to be patient, disciplined, because you're walking through a minefield right now. There are opportunities, but you have to be disciplined in the way you approach them. Translation, underwriting discipline. Don't go reinsure simply to get the premium, because the pricing isn't there. Lightning has killed at least 70 people in India in the past several days, mainly farm laborers working in the field. This is as a result of the much-anticipated summer monsoon, which has hit India in a big way. Thankfully, this is after months of parching drought. An official in the eastern state of Bihar said this morning that at least 56 people have been killed by lightning this week alone. In the neighboring state of Uttar Pradesh, 20 people have been killed. over the past 2 days. Lightning kills thousands of people in India each year, most of them farmers working in the fields. And a reminder of just how important this Brexit vote is. England has been held up as a place of refuge for thousands of refugees who are escaping life-threatening situations. There was a story today that we want to relate to you. A Sudanese man, 40 years old, Abdul Rahman Haroun, was found walking through the Channel Tunnel to England from France. He pleaded guilty to an obstruction charge. He was found inside the tunnel last August. He was granted asylum in the UK after he was apprehended near the end of the 31-mile tunnel. He was sentenced to 9 months in prison, but earlier today he walked free from court because of time already served. During the hearing, the court said that Mr. Haroun's description of the speed of the trains passing through the tunnel was chilling. They go at about 90 miles per hour. He said, "When I saw the trains coming, I held on to metal pieces on the wall of the tunnel." Haroun's journey saw him travel from the Sudan to Egypt, and then from Egypt to Libya before he crossed the Mediterranean to Italy. From there, from Italy, he made his way to the refugee camp in Calais, France, on the other side of the channel. He jumped the perimeter fence and began walking through the tunnel, sometimes on the right, sometimes on the left, for 31 miles, walking in the darkness underneath the English Channel, avoiding speeding trains at a speed of 90 miles per hour. Mr. Haroun made it to England. This morning he was granted his freedom and left as a free man. He is a refugee and has been granted asylum in Britain. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching.